Well, hello there. How you doing? You're looking amazing, by the way. And it's Saturday. How do you do it? The week has been kind to you. And look, it's been one of them weeks, isn't it? We've got the up and coming documentary at some point today from I think it's CBS who are doing it. I can't remember, or it's on CBS. But anyway, it's the Idaho 4 documentary, and we're all waiting with bated breath as to what they're going to be speaking about. But don't you worry, if you do not have access to it, I will certainly be watching it. However that happens, and I shall come back to you on Monday with a full rundown of what I think of that. But today we're talking about something completely different, and that we're actually going back to the Nicola Bulley case. And I don't know whether this is new. I certainly know that some of the channels who really did cover this case in depth haven't really touched on this element of the case. But someone sent it to me yesterday. I think it was yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yeah, I think it was. Sent me it to have a look at. And what is it? It is specifically looking at the Fitbit. And this, what I'm going to be showing you shortly, is an account from someone who was actually, or apparently at the inquest. And they talk about their experience within that inquest of Nicola Bulley. And look, we know how that was ruled. It was ruled as an accident. It was ruled as an accident. They believe that she went into the water by herself and sadly succumbed to cold water shock. That would seem to be what they were trying to say. Is it possible? Of course it's possible. Anything's possible. But some of us, including myself, sadly, I can't fathom that. I can't understand it. And when you listen to what one of these digital experts had to say as well, that further leads you to believe that something's missing here. Something doesn't quite add up. And look, I'm not pointing the finger at anyone, and I'm certainly not saying that I'm right, but I do feel that this specific element of this case deserves a little bit more of an explanation how, if this is possible, and if this truly is what this digital expert and analyst has said, then surely that doesn't go hand in hand with the conclusion within the Nicola Bulley case. The link, by the way, is in the description, so you can actually read, because there's a lot. He goes through the entire inquest and his experience from who was there, what it was like, what he took from it, all of the witnesses who came forward, the everything, the whole 9 yards. So if you haven't seen it, it's definitely worth a look. But his name is Chris. But we're going to pay attention to this one person today, and that is this guy here, which is DC Keith Greenhalgh. Halge. My concerns with his testimony is not about his character, unlike DSI Smith, but that I don't think he's particularly competent. Good start. Can you believe he's been a digital specialist for Lancashire Constabulary for the last 20 years. This means he started in his post 4 years before anyone on the planet had even heard of an iPhone. It was abundantly clear that he has not followed technological innovations since. Still, he managed to hold the fort for half an hour leading up to the end of day one. He spent a lot of time explaining with the use of slides how having also field tested it for himself that you couldn't track movements whatsoever from the analysis of Nicky's iPhone. I wrote down expert testimony to say it's all crap and no use whatsoever. Let me just put that back up to the top here. What the slides did show was all the locational pings from the phone centered around the bench and Rowan Water Lake. Don't go there, as he supposedly replicated this for himself when he walked around the fields for himself. Things improved when he started detailing the information obtained from Nicky's Fitbit Versa 4. He managed to debunk himself when he presented the step count and distance walked data in 15-minute intervals between 8 and 9:30, proving that any conclusions they were trying to draw from the step data is worthless. I have these, you don't need it presently, as it's gibberish. The media have been careful to refer sporadic, unreliable heart rate readings some days later before the device lost charge on the 4th of February. In testing on inanimate objects, this was allegedly observed when the tank was unplugged and there was suddenly a flow of water that could recreate this. What they fail to report is that I don't even know what that said, testified that the heart rate readings were rock solid and reliable with a confidence level 3 until 11:48 that very morning. So what he's basically saying here is up until 11:48 a.m. the Fitbit Versa was recording a heart rate, a steady and solid heart rate with a confidence level 3 up until 11:48 a.m. that very morning. And when did they say that Nikki likely went into the water? Around 9:20-ish? So I'll just leave this here for you to think about. Unfortunately, far from the farce of very possibly falling into the river of near-freezing water at 9:22 a.m., their very own information will be used as evidence to demonstrate that Nikki was first abducted, still alive at this point, and subsequently murdered, but not necessarily when the Fitbit stopped readings. And it goes on to say here, the Fitbit says the Versa 4 lasts 6+ days after wearing the watch consistently for just under 2 days, 44 hours to be exact. It had lost 29%. This is entirely in line with Fitbit's claims, suggesting a charge will last just over 6 days. It was actually still going 7 days after we started keeping tabs on the battery, with 9% battery life left after a week, but this was mostly thanks to a bad habit of absent-mindedly taking watches off. So in a nutshell, what we're saying here is this guy has attended to be told at the end of it that she had an accident. And if that's the case, then how does the Fitbit record a strong and steady heart rate up until nearly 12 o'clock midday? You know, unless we're saying that when that watch is submerged in water attached to a drowned victim, it can still pick up a heart rate. I can't see how that works. I just, with this information, I don't see how this inquest could have concluded what it concluded. How on earth can you say that at 9:22 in the morning, Nicola Bulley had an accident and fell into that water? And surely, when people have considered the extensive searches that Peter and co took, and even law enforcement, and that Nicola wasn't found in that body of water, and then she was found in a part of that water that almost seems impossible to have got to when you factor in how the body would react in this style of drowning, where she would have sunk. She wouldn't have floated, she'd have sunk. And anyway, you've seen it. If you're following the case, if you know what I'm talking about, you've seen it, you've heard it, you've been there, you've seen it. But please, will somebody tell me how this is possible? Or is this just, or are we going to be told that this guy's a liar? Is he just a liar and he didn't go? But I'd certainly go and watch, like I say, the link is in the description. Go and have a read and check him out, because he does go in depth. And if you are interested in it, I'd certainly go and say have a look, because I just can't work out, especially with even just this bit, how they concluded that this was an accident and that time frame is when this happened. Let me know down below what you think. Is this proof that something else happened on that morning, and is it being ignored? Is there more stuff going on in the background? Who knows? Or was this just shut down because of money, and they just wanted to get it done as quickly as possible? We do know that being classed an accident leaves it open to future reopening of the case and looking into it. If someone wants to come forward and give any evidence or you know, they want to say that they know something. I would certainly say that if you are someone who knows something, then there is a lady who lost a life, and there's children who lost a mum, and they deserve answers. Let me know down below, and I shall catch you all in the next one.